Hello friends, I am Maulik Parmar, PGT English from KV number 2 Infantry Lines Jamnagar. I welcome you all on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to study first lesson of class 12th Vistas supplementary reader, and that is the third level by Jack Finney. So in this presentation we will see the introduction of the chapter, we will have the summary of the chapter, we will have the explanation of the chapter, and then we will have NCERT solution question answers in this particular presentation. So let's start this presentation with introduction of the chapter. So here is the introduction. The third level by Jack Finney is about the harsh realities of war. War has irreversible consequences, thus leaving people in a state of insecurity. It is also about modern day problems and how common man tends to escape reality by various means. In this story, a man named Charlie hallucinates and reaches the third level of the Grand Central Station, which only has 2 levels. Now, let's learn more about the author, Jack Finney. Walter Braden Finney, known as Jack, is a US writer born 1911 and died November 14, 1995. Walter Braden Finney was the author of 10 novels as well as short stories and plays, but his fame rested on 2 novels that were especially well known: The Body Snatcher in 1955 and this novel republished as Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 1961, about human beings replicated by alien seed pods, was filmed 3 times and time and again in 1970, concerning an advertising artist who is recruited for a government project involving time travel, became a cult classic. Finney attended Knox College, Galesburg, and then worked in advertising in New York City. He began writing short stories and many were published in such magazines as Collier's, the Saturday Evening Post, and McCall's. His first, The Widow's Walk, 1946, won a special prize in an Ellery Queen's Mystery magazine contest. Finney's first novel, Five Against the House, 1954, as well as Assault on a Queen in 1959 and Good Neighbor Sam, 1963, were adapted for the cinema. Another notable work was the Woodrow Wilson Dime in 1968, which created a parallel world in which much is familiar yet striking differences exist. In 1995, From Time to Time, Finney's long-awaited sequel to Time and Again was published. Friends, let's see the summary of the story, the third level. The story revolves around 31-year-old man named Charlie, who experienced something weird, something strange. One day, after work, coming from the subway, he reached the third level of the Grand Central Station, which actually doesn't exist. He reminisces the entire experience with his psychiatrist friend Sam. Charlie thought he experienced time travel and had reached somewhere in the 80s, 90s, a time before the world saw 2 of its most deadliest wars. As soon as he realized what time he is in, he immediately decided to buy 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois, one for himself and other for his wife. Unfortunately, the currency used in that century was different. Thus, the next day, he withdrew all his savings and got them converted, even if it meant bearing losses. He went looking for the third level but failed to find it. It worried his wife and the psychiatrist Sam, who told him that he is hallucinating in order to take refuge from reality and miseries of the modern world, which is full of worry. Charlie thus resorts to his stamp collection in order to distract himself when suddenly one day he finds a letter from his friend Sam, who had gone missing recently. Sam wrote that he always wanted to believe in the idea of third level, and now that he is there himself, he encourages Charlie and Louisa to never stop looking for it. Now, friends, let's see the theme of the story. The story Third Level clearly explores the science fiction genre of time travel. Jack Finney, the recipient of the World Fantasy Award, interviews fantasy with the reality in the most futuristic projection of time travel. Charlie wishes to be transported to the third level, the world of 1894, which is supposedly much happier and quieter place to be. It is one of the most concise and entertaining story about the time travel. The question whether the third level exists in real or only in Charlie's mind can be inferred from Sam's letter. The story also dwells on the theme of escapism, not only as a psychological refuge from the grim realities of the present day world, but also as a desire to stay with the past or to keep the past alive in the complexities of the present. In the story, Charlie not only expresses desire to escape but also prepares and tries very hard, a desire which is not contested by the wife either. Sam is also happily escaped with no plans to resort to his old profession, along with scores of other people who cross the Grand Central every day to escape seems to be an all pervasive feeling. Now let's have the explanation of the chapter. Now see, you can see the explanation is having certain points and then details are given. So we will go through by the points which are given there and description details which are given there. Let's go through it. The third level at Central Station. The Grand Central Station of New York has only two levels, but Charlie, a 31-year-old dweller of the city, talks about there being three. Not only does he believe in the existence of this hypothetical third level, but also claims to have been there. A visit to his psychiatrist friend. Charlie visits a psychiatrist friend to talk about this problem. A psychiatrist calls it a waking dream wish fulfillment and rationalizes Charlie's psychology by saying that the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, worry, and war, and everybody wants to escape to some temporary refuge from reality. According to him, even hobbies like stamp collection is a manifestation of this escape. Now Charlie loses his way at Grand Central. The fast growing Grand Central station at times seems to be a maze to Charlie. He had lost his way a couple of times earlier too while taking the subway. Once he entered the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel, while the other time he emerged at an office building that was 3 blocks away. But this time, when he loses his way, something unique happens. He visits the third level. The third level. Now, what is this third level? Third level, Charlie keeps walking in the quiet corridor, angling left and slanting downward till he reaches an architecturally old station that is completely different from the two familiar levels. The antiquated small room with fewer ticket counters and gates, a wooden information booth, a flickering open flame gas light, and brass spittoons reminds him of the architecture of 18th century. He also finds that people are dressed in outmoded outfits. He notices that the date on the newspaper the world is printed June 11, 1894. As he tenders money to the clerk at the counter to buy 2 tickets, he realizes that he needs to have old currency bills to do so. Charlie's plan for a journey not realized. He had always wanted to travel to Galesburg with his wife Louisa. In his mind, it is wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, huge lawns and tremendous trees. It is a place with long and pleasant summer evening and where people have ample of time. So, the next day during lunch, he exchanges $300 for old style bills amounting to some 200 only. The loss doesn't bother him as much as he believes that in Galesburg everything will be cheaper and that he can manage even with a small amount. But he could never again find the corridor leading to the third level. Now Sam goes missing. Sam is the psychiatrist friend of Charlie. So he goes missing. Let's see what happens. His wife Louisa is worried after knowing all this and asks him not to look for the third level any further. Suddenly Charlie realizes that his friend Sam Weiner is nowhere to be found. So he and his wife keep looking for him in the weekends. Sam was one with whom Charlie used to share his ideas about Galesburg. Now, philately and the first day covers. Philately is the hobby of collecting stamps. So, philately is not just a stamp collection but a broad term including the study of stamps, postal history and other related items. When a new stamp is issued on the first day, people mail a blank paper to themselves and then retain that unopened letter with the date on the postmark. Charlie has inherited the hobby and the collection from his grandfather. Now he received one letter from Sam. One day, while fidgeting with the stamp collection, Charlie comes across a letter that was not there earlier. It bears the postmark on a faded 6-cent stamp with a picture of the President Garfield. The envelope was sent on July 18, 1894 to Charlie's grandfather in Galesburg and is addressed to Charlie. The letter reads that Sam has reached the Galesburg and is having the whale of a time there. He also invites Charlie and Louisa to Galesburg. When Charlie goes to the stamp and coin store, he is apprised of Sam's exchanging $800 for the old currency bills to establish his business of hay feed and grain in Galesburg. The letter was written by Sam Weiner, who was Charlie's psychiatrist. So that's what the explanation of the chapter is. Now let's move to the NCERT solution of the chapter. So I hope this explanation will surely make you clear about the chapters. So let's see the question answer. Read and find out. Here is the first question. What does the third level refer to? Third level, answer is already given there. The third level refers to the subway of the Grand Central Station that takes passenger to Galesburg, Illinois. The third level on the station was a medium of escape for Charlie, the narrator, from the harsh realities of modern life. It provided him a base where he could interweave fantasy and reality. Question 2. Would Charlie ever go back to the ticket counter on the third level to buy tickets to Galesburg for himself and his wife? Answer is no. Charlie would never go back to the ticket counter on the third level to buy tickets to Galesburg for himself as well as for his wife, because third level was his imagination. Now second part of the NCERT solution is the reading with insight. You can see this question is already there in the text. First question, do you think that the third level was a medium of escape for Charlie? And if you think so, whatever your reason is, please mention why. Let's see the answer. Yes, I think that the third level was a medium of escape for Charlie. Life in modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worries and stress. Man has to confront them all the times. The harsh realities of life make living quite unpleasant and even unbearable. So he wants to escape into a wistful world. Charlie talks to his psychiatrist friend about the third level at the Grand Central Station. His friend calls it a waking dream wish fulfillment. Charlie possesses an escapist tendency. Even his stamp collecting is a temporary refuge from reality. Next question. What do you infer from Sam's letter to Charlie? The way Charlie came across Sam's letter was surrounded in mystery. Among his oldest first day covers, he found an envelope. The envelope containing the letter bore the address of his grandfather. It was written on July 18, 1894. The postmark showed the picture of President Garfield. Generally, the first day covers have blank papers in them, but this one contained a letter. The letter was addressed to Charlie. In the letter, Sam had informed Charlie that he was living on the third level. He had also told Charlie and his wife to keep looking for the third level. Clearly, the letter was a product of Charlie's imagination. Third question. The modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, stress. What are the ways in which we attempt to overcome them? So here is the answer. We can overcome the anxieties and the insecurities bred by our inevitable existence in the modern world by getting involved in some practical and beneficial activities, cultivating hobbies, spending time with the family and friends, going on trips and excursions, pursuing meditation and exercises help us live a balanced and healthy life. Reading good books is equivalent to having good friends with great insight. They not only enrich us with the vast store of knowledge, but also help us to learn from others' experience and stay rooted to some basic qualities of humanity. Joining hobby classes or gym, attending social events like birthdays and wedding, going for outdoor games, interacting meaningfully through social networking sites and writing diaries, etc., can also help us relieve our worries and stay focused and disciplined in life. Some activities like listening to music, playing with pets, and occasional dinner out, watching cinema or plays, or going to places like parks, etc., can go a long way in helping us get rid of stress, boredom, and insecurity. Next question. Do you see an intersection of time and space in the story? Yes, there is certain instances in the story that show an intersection of time and space. Firstly, the first two levels of the Grand Central Station were located in the present time, while the third level existed in the 1890s. Secondly, Charlie and his wife Louisa live in the present time, yet he rushes to get old currency to buy two tickets to go to the Galesburg of 1894. Further, the old architecture of the platform at the third level is different from the modern platforms of the first two levels. Besides, the archaic manner of dressing by the people and the newspaper The World, dated June 11, 1984, also overlaps with Charlie's real-time world and existence. Lastly, the letter was mailed to Charlie's grandfather on 18th July 1894, highlights the intersection of time and space, as the sender, Charlie's friend Sam, and the receiver, Charlie himself, belong to the present time. Fifth question, apparent illogicality sometimes turn out to be a futuristic projection. Discuss. It is true that apparent illogicality sometimes turns out to be a futuristic projection. Before the Wright brothers invented the first aeroplane, nobody could have dared to believe that man could fly. Before Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, it would have been impossible to believe in long distance talks happening in the real time interface. Moreover, there are examples of inventions like that of inventing a modern day sewing machine with a needle that has hole on its wrong end, which were conceiving in dreams but now are part of our everyday reality. All these emphasizes that fancies of one point of time that seem illogical may turn out to be revolutionary thing that change the future of mankind. Similarly, it would not be far-fetched to think about railway stations fitted with the time machine devices that would make travel from one era to another just a matter of time. Sixth question, philately helps keep the past alive. Discuss other ways in which this is done. What do you think of the human tendency to constantly move between the past, present and the future? Here is the answer. Besides philately, there are numerous other ways to help keep the past alive. Collecting historical artifacts, paintings and inscriptions in a museum, collecting and reading books including the autobiographies, biosketch, letters and diary entries written in the different era, collecting and viewing documentaries and other videos are all a few ways of revisiting history. Besides, we can keep our culture and traditions alive when we follow the rituals in ceremonies, treasure memories in the form of videos, photographs and audio collections. Also, reviving old monuments, buildings and other artifacts may prove a huge hearing opportunity to those revisiting such places and promote tourism at the same time. The capacity to oscillate between the past, present and the future is a great intellectual gift. This human tendency enables him to plan for the future in the present by reaping benefits from the past. Consider a very simple example of adopting a study technique for board exams. Considering the past result of class test or half yearly exams, a student makes a strategy plan to address the weak areas more and score better in the future. Thus, such a tendency helps in ensuring acceptance of the impact of important decisions taken at any point of time and learning from them. Seventh question. You have read Adventure by Jayant Narlikar in Hornbill 11th. Compare the interweaving of fancy and reality in both the stories. Let's see the answer. In Adventure, Jayant Narlikar expressed that many worlds exist uh, simultaneously, though they appear to be separated by time. He expressed that the other world also existed and uh, prospered with the world we are aware of. On the other hand, in the third level, Charlie, a young New York commuter wandering Grand Central Station by accident, finds a gateway that leads to a real past of 1894. Seizing the opportunity, Charlie attempts to escape the rat race by buying a one-way ticket to his childhood town, Galesburg. Not having a proper currency for that period, he forced to postpone his plan to escape to the past. That's all. Thank you and have a nice day.